Hey there. Today I thought it would be fun to kind of fit in something that I really I enjoy doing. I probably don't do it every day, but it's kind of a mix of yoga, mobility exercises, and some body weight or strengthening. So if you want to join along, you'll need some light weights. I mean, if you were up to an 8, that might be okay. Some of that might be hard to keep the same range of motion in really good form. So maybe having a couple different weights, or you don't necessarily have to have them by bringing a lot of intention to movement. You don't even need weights. So don't worry about it if you don't have them. Blocks are always nice. And today a blanket might come in handy too. So we will go ahead and get started. If you'd like to kind of have your hips a little higher to allow your knees to fall open, bring a blanket, folding it, and just sitting at the edge of that blanket, bringing one foot in front of the other, allowing the knees to drape open as much as they would like to. If this is really intense on those hip creases, feel free to bring a block directly underneath that thigh bone or a rolled up towel or a blanket. And we're just going to start by slowly starting to warm up the body. So taking an inhale, lengthening up through the pelvic floor. So as if you could draw the pelvic floor upward, bring that belly button in, back, and up. So if you could think belly button is coming in almost towards the middle of your back. Exhale, allow those shoulder blades, top of the shoulders to soften away from the ears. We'll take an inhale, lifting up both arms up high. As you exhale, allow that right hand to drop and float down to the ground as we reach over to the right. Inhale it back up to center. Exhale, that left hand floats down, floating over, trying to maintain those sits bones down into the mat. Exhale, feeling that space opening, those intercostal muscles between the ribs. Inhale it up. One more time each side. Feel that lengthening from the tops of the fingers down into that waist. Inhale, reaching up. As you exhale, cactus those arms open. Feel the shoulder blades coming together down the back. Exhale, bring both hands to the top of the knees. As you inhale, sweeping that chest through, allowing those shoulder blades to come together, shoulders to soften down. As you exhale, draw navel to spine, rounding through the upper back, using those hands as kind of a lever to hold you. Inhale, sweep that heart opens up. As you exhale, navel to spine. So just a couple seated cat-cows here. Feel that heart lifting, chin lifts a little. Exhale, rounding forward. Feel that space between the shoulder blades open up. Last one here. Then we'll go ahead and switch out whichever foot you had in front. We'll switch that out just to even us out. Inhale, lengthening up through the spine. As you exhale, bring that left hand behind you. Right hand is going to come to the top of that left knee. Inhale again to lengthen through the spine, up through the pelvic floor. As you exhale, twisting from the belly, and then the rib cage twists, then those shoulders, then the gaze goes over the left shoulder. Inhale, elongating here, the crown of the head lifts, drawing the chest up. As you exhale, softening back to center. Bringing that right hand behind you, left hand coming to the top of that left knee, or maybe that thigh. Inhale, once again, drawing that pelvic floor up, lengthening through the crown of the head. As you exhale, allow that twist to come from your belly, then your ribs, then shoulders, then your neck. Gazing over that right shoulder. Inhale here, lengthening through the crown of the head. As you exhale, slowly coming back to center. And then we'll come to kind of a kneeling, like a higher kneeling. So knees, if you need a little bit more cushion, if your ground is hard or just have kind of some healing happening in the knees, tucking those toes under, sitting on top of them. So we just allow the back of the feet to open up. Just trying to gain some increased range of motion and kind of lengthening and strengthening really helps with plantar fasciitis. So taking an inhale as you exhale, allow those shoulders to soften. And then we're going to turn the palm of the hand so it's facing out. So left hand is facing out, and just start to kind of wave that to the side, keeping that arm, the bicep, as close to the ear as you can as it circles around, bringing that palm so it's still facing the outside, and then coming back. Just working on a little bit of range of motion for that shoulder. And then with the right hand, if it becomes too intense to stay up on the toes here, feel free to come to the top of the toes. So that right hand is twisted, so the right palm is pointed out towards the side, still drawing up from the pelvic floor, so we're lengthening through the crown of the head, trying to keep that bicep kind of in, so I'm not bringing my arm out. I have really tight shoulders, so that arm doesn't stay in as much working on it, but that range of motion is getting better. Then inhale it back. Really feel that shoulder kind of working in the socket. Bringing that arm back down. Then untucking the feet, maybe coming forward, kind of knocking them out, releasing a little bit here. Then we're going to sit back on the tops of the heels and just take a moment to open up that front of the shin. So sitting up on the heels, allowing those shoulders to soften down the back. Ears are stacked over the shoulders. Shoulders are stacked over the hips. This time we're going to keep that right knee down, draw that left knee up. So feeling kind of an intense stretch from the front of the foot, maybe all the way up into that shin. Another big inhale here. As you exhale, release that left knee to the ground. Inhale, keeping that left knee down, lifting up that right knee, feeling that bit of an intense stretch in that front of the right foot, keeping those toenails pressing into the mat. Another nice deep inhale. As you exhale, softening that down into the mat. Then we're going to come into plank, so bringing those wrists underneath shoulders. Fingertips are fan out nice and wide, really connected into all four corners of the palm of the hand, extending the legs down the mat, coming to the balls of the feet, pressing those heels back, drawing that low belly in, back and up, lengthening here through the crown of the head. So we have a really nice, stable plank, nice and long through the spine. On your exhale, allow both heels to drop over to the left. Take a nice deep bend in the knees. That right foot can stay planted. Send that seat back. Press the mat forward. Feel that opening stretch in the right side, a little bit of compression in the left. As you inhale, wave that spine forward, drawing that crown of the head nice and long. Still pressing the mat away so there's lots of energy through the front body. Exhale, allow both heels to drop to the left. Nice deep bend in the knees. Send that seat way back. Press the mat forward. Inhale, wave that spine, lengthening through the crown of the head. Exhale, heels, go to the left. Send that seat back, pressing the mat forward. Inhale, let that spine really wave, really get slinky with it. Exhale, opening up that left side. Inhale, waving that spine forward nice and long through the crown of the head. Shoulder blades melt down the back. Elbows stay by the sides, coming to a 90-degree angle. Hips can lower, and then lower that whole body down to the ground. Keeping your hands by your side, pressing all 10 toenails into the mat, really lighting up those legs so the kneecaps lift. Inward rotation of the thighs. Then keeping those elbows by the side, shoulders melting down. On your inhale, softening that tailbone by bringing pubic bone to belly button. And as you inhale, lifting the chest, drawing those shoulder blades down, elbows in. Exhale, release. Inhale, lifting up here, little baby cobra, really working those back as part of the core. Exhale it down. One more inhale, keeping those elbows in, shoulders drawing back. Exhale it down. Tucking the toes under, keeping those shoulders down, elbows in, tailbone softening down. And as you exhale, really push that mat away. And we'll just keep going. So coming up, hips go high, press the mat forward. As we come into a downward dog, maybe taking a moment, paddling out the legs, spreading those toes out, fingertips out. Seat goes high, shoulder blades are melting down the back as those biceps are coming, rotating in towards the ears. Sometimes people's shoulders, it's not necessarily biceps by the ears, but if you could think of rotating those arms as if you could bring the biceps by the ears. So the first little mobility and fun exercise that we're going to do here, we're going to take a nice deep bend in the knees, coming up onto the toes, pressing them out away. So if you could press your chest further into your thighs. As you exhale, kind of loading, springing forward, bringing that right foot on the outside of the right hand. As you inhale, let that chest shine through, that opposite hip kind of lower a little bit, feeling that kind of edge of range of motion there. Exhale, coming back, but pressing that chest into the thighs, pressing the mat forward. Then springing, loading off, bringing that left foot on the outside of the left hand. Inhale, lifting that chest. There's still this upward pull from the pelvic floor so that our spine is staying long, chest shining forward, even though you're allowing that hip to sink a little bit. Exhale, push that mat away. So now we'll just do a few of these. Inhale, feel that stretch. Exhale, push away. Inhale, lengthening the chest. Really using a lot of control here to draw that knee up towards and place that foot softly, then open up the chest. Exhale it back. Inhale, feel that opening. Working nice and strong here though, through the core. Inhale it open. A couple more each side. So really work on pressing the mat away, getting that chest towards the thighs. One more. Working on that range of motion in the hips. This works a lot of things. And now just taking a pause here in downward dog. So fingertips are fanned out nice and wide, toes are fanned out nice and wide. You could always come down to knees, take a child's pose for a moment. Smooth out that breath. So this one is similar. So coming up high on those toes, deep bend the knees, pressing that chest into the thighs. Right foot outside of right hand. This time we're going to swing that left foot through, straighten it out, open up that chest. Send it back, chest towards thighs. Left foot next to left hand. Swinging that right leg through, opening up. Bit of a hair malfunction. Using that core engagement, really springing forward, but using that core to place that hand, that foot next to the hand, and draw that leg through. Oh man, this is where music would come in really handy. You can drown me out here, play your favorite playlist. Few more here. Feeling that core, that upper back. One more on each side. Keep that leg that's sweeping through lifted. All right. Taking a moment here. Once again, downward dog, maybe coming to a child's pose. Allowing that breath to smooth out. Pressing the hands into the earth, feet into the earth to extend the spine. Nice deep inhale. Releasing, maybe open mouth exhales. And then we need to have our weights handy. So bring those weights towards the front of your mat. Coming back into downward dog. On your next inhale, lifting up that right leg. As you exhale, drawing it through, settling it down. Taking hold of those weights, allow that left heel to soften towards the ground. Coming up into like a warrior pose, hips are square. We're going to exhale, folding, hinging forward a little bit, making sure that all four corners of both feet are really grounded and rooted, drawing in and up from the pelvic floor, bringing those elbows in, and we'll do some tricep kickbacks here. Keep that low belly drawing in, back, and up. Lots of energy in the feet. Shoulders are softening. Think of those triceps, drawing those weights back. Nice and strong in that back leg and that front leg. So if you could think of almost drawing that big toe mound towards your heel, it sort of lights up that center line, kind of lengthening you forward. A few more here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rotating that back heel. So that back heel is lifted. Now we're more in a crescent lunge here. Bringing those arms up, so weights near the shoulders. As we inhale, straightening out and then raising, pressing those arms up. Exhale, that back knee can bend and soften towards the mat. Inhale it up, exhale it down. Nice and strong through that back leg. Once again, drawing that big toe mound forward in that right leg to sort of light up that midline. Inhale it down. Attempting to smooth out the breath. Few more here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Woohoo! Almost made it. 1. Nice deep bend in that front leg. Releasing the weights, hands coming on either side. Coming in a plank, a little chaturanga here. Knees can drop to the floor. Elbows stay by their sides. Shoulders melting back. Just 90 degrees. Hips lower. Inhale it up, upward dog. Exhale, hips go high, downward dog. Smoothing out the breath. Pressing that mat forward, elongating the spine. Feet are grounding down. On your next inhale, inhale, that left leg rises. Exhale, bringing that left foot. Next, that left hand taking hold of the weights. Coming into warrior one. So that back heel melts down. Hips are square. Drawing everything up through the pelvic floor to find a really great stability in the core. Bending forward on the knee, then hinging forward at the hips. Shoulder blades melt down the back. Tricep kickbacks here. Squeezing those triceps. Drawing that low belly in, back, and up. Bring both toe mounds in both feet towards your heels. Not like you would have 5 of them. I guess I don't need to say how many. Smooth out the breath. Really bring that awareness to the triceps. Music would help. Turn on something good, guys. A few more here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pivoting that back leg. So now we're on the ball of that back foot, still drawing everything up from the pelvic floor. This time we're going to do some bicep curls. So as we lower down, curling up, straightening that front leg. That back leg can soften towards the mat as you lower down. Nice and strong through the ball of the back foot. Drawing that low belly in, back, and up. That core is creating a lot of stability. Think of grounding those feet in, pressing the earth away. Remembering to smooth out that breath when you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Taking a nice bend in that knee. Bringing hands on either side. Coming into plank chaturanga. Elbows stay by the side. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Resetting that breath. Pressing the mat away. Spreading those toes, the fingers. Taking a look forward. Inhale, nice deep bend in the knees. Making your way to the front of the mat. Feet about hip width apart. There's a nice deep bend in the knees. Feeling that low belly and chest on the top of the thighs. As you inhale, coming into a halfway lift, hands on your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. We'll do a couple half salutations just to kind of lengthen, work that spine. Inhale, arms raise. Exhale, forward fold over nice bent knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands to heart center one more time. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinging forward, forward fold. Inhale here, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. So this move is kind of a lot of choose your own venture. Sorry, you can take a drink of water. I've got to let the cat in. Don't mind us. So I like to do this with just a block between my knees. We're going to go from chair pose, jump back to plank, but I really find that this helps with my lower spine to keep this inward rotation if I have a block between my knees. You don't have to have it. Another option here is, hey, is to keep your weights towards the front of your mat, but they're not necessary. So you'll see. So getting ready, coming to the top of your mat, allow those shoulder blades to exhale and soften down your back. And if you don't have a block, it's not a big deal. It will still work, I promise. As you inhale, send that seat back, torso lifts. So here's where I like the block because there's an inward rotation of my thighs. I don't tend to sway in that back. I can keep that strong core. So I'm drawing pubic bone to belly button, core is super engaged because that internal rotation. So inhale, then we're going to place the hands in a plank, jump those feet back. If that jump is a bit much to you, feel free to go from chair, place the hands, step back in a plank. That's perfectly fine. From here in plank, we're just going to open up that chest with the left hand, exhale it back down, inhale, opening up with the right, exhale it back down. You have the option here to use that weight and bring it back down, inhale it up, bring it back down, and you can even keep those weights as you jump forward, come back in a chair. These weights to me are too heavy to pull up in the chair. Back in a chair, keep it low. So we're going to go through these a few rounds, 4 times. Feel free to do what works with you and realize that if your form isn't staying great, then drop the weights, step back instead of jumping, do what works for you. So here we go. Chair pose, coming down, jumping out. Inhale, that left arm raises. Exhale it down. Inhale, woohoo, using that core. Inhale, right, coming back down. Coming forward, raising up, stay low. Inhale that left arm. Inhale that right arm. Torso lifts, stay nice and low. 3. One more after this set. Chest lifts, stay low. Opening up. This time, stay low in that chair pose. I'm going to bring those arms back and up. Shoulder blades squeezing together. Raising those arms up. Squeeze those arms. So working those back. I lost all words. Squeezing back. Weight back on the heels. Feel those quads engage. Core is engaged. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. Release that block if you have one. Bringing those feet out really wide, wider than hip width. Toes facing forward. Low belly drawing in, back and up. Shoulder blades softening down. Hinging forward at the hips. Forward fold. Big inhale. Exhale to release. Feel that neck release. Shoulders softening down. Smoothing out the breath. Then we're going to come, lengthen the spine. Heel toe those feet in. So they're a little wider than hip width. Toes are faced out in the direction of your knees. We're going to slowly sit our seat down. If this is a lot on your ankles, bring a block underneath your seat. Elbows are coming inside of those knees, knees into elbows, elbows into knees. We're drawing everything up from the pelvic floor. So if you could just barely sit on that block. So when you pull up that pelvic floor, that chest lifts, crown of the head lifts, nice and strong here. Raising up that right heel, lowering it down, left heel, all the while drawing that low belly in and up, all the way from the pelvic floor. So that pelvic floor is what's really kind of drawing that energy up and pulling up, lengthening through the crown of the head. A few more each side. Working those inner thighs, still working that core. Feel that muscle engagement. And then if you have it in you, drawing both heels up, pausing there for 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Oh man, okay. Coming down to the ground, bringing soles of the feet forward. If, once again, your hips feel like they can release down, if your seat is up, coming to the edge of a blanket, just gonna kind of, oh yeah, release those inner thighs before we work some abs. Inhale, feel that back lengthening, crown of the head lifting. As you exhale, allow gravity to just soften into those inner thighs. Maybe taking both hands, drawing them back up. And then we'll make our way down the length of the mat. So we're going to do just a little bit of kind of deeper core work. They're really small range of motion, but it's very deep in our core. So bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Arms can be out by your side. Allow that low back to soften by kind of gently, almost scooping out that belly from the pubic bone towards the belly button. So we're not pressing really hard or squeezing with the glutes. We're just drawing that pubic bone to belly button, or bringing those hip points together horizontally. Just feeling this space for a moment. As you exhale, allow both knees to drift over to the left. As you inhale, draw them up. But as you tick-tock your knees back and forth here, imagine the movement coming from deep inside the core, as if your leg bones could continue all the way up into your belly, and it was your belly that was kind of rotating them from side to side. Feel that core engaging in the movement. One more to each side. Then we'll go ahead and lengthen our feet up towards the ceiling, bringing the big toe mounds together. Feeling again that low belly kind of scooping, or those hip points coming together. As your big toe mounds are pressing together, think as if holding either a piece of paper or a pebble or something in between. And as you do so, you start to feel those inner thighs, that midline, just sort of light up. And just keep that lighting up action going all the way up. Draw in a full deep inhale all the way, filling up the belly on either side. As you exhale, feel that low belly soften and press into your back. And take another full deep inhale. This time as you exhale, think of pressing that toe mount together, pressing your toes towards the ceiling so that your seat could lift just slightly. Inhale. Bringing that back down. Exhale, rising up again, pressing those toes up. Inhale, letting those hips lower. So it's a super tiny range of motion. Inhale, soften back down. I'm sorry, inhale, filling up. Exhale, really lift those hips up. Inhale, softening back down. Exhale, draw those hips up. This time as you inhale, allow that chest to lift. As you exhale, bring both toes, hips, chest higher. Inhale, back down. Exhale, hips lift. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, both lift a little bit higher. Inhale, coming back down. Exhale, toes, hips lift. Exhale, chest lifts. Inhale, both lift. Exhale it back down. Inhale, those toes and hips lift. Exhale, chest. Inhale, everything is just lifting up. Exhale, bend in those knees. Either taking hold of the knees, letting them drape open, maybe taking hold of the ankles, or just bringing the soles of the feet, letting the knees fall in, just taking a moment there. Softening, let that exhale release. Bringing this feet back up, pressing those toe mounds together. And you're kind of like as if you're pointing, but just with the balls of your feet. So maybe you do have finger toes. Your toes are spread out a little bit. Hands coming back behind the head as you inhale, pressing the toe mounds together, lifting up those toes and heels. Exhale, lifting up the chest. Inhale, allowing that right leg to drop, left knee to come to right elbow. Inhale, lifting both up. Exhale, kind of like a little bicycle, but as we inhale through the center, we're lifting straight up. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, lifting, everything lifts up. Exhale, really press that knee into opposite elbow to really feel a little bit more engagement here. Inhale it up. Exhale. Inhale it up. Exhale. One more each side, really lengthening here. Exhale, press. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. Inhale, one more lift. Stay here lifted as if your torso were staying down into the mat. Hips, toes, chest. Lift, lift, lift. Exhale, release. Maybe crunching those toes. They can get a little cramped in that position. Bringing that right leg all the way down the mat. Draw that left knee in towards your chest, rolling out that ankle. Exhale, release. Then we're going to go ahead and straighten into that left leg. Any amount, that leg can be bent. If it feels more comfortable to have the right sole of the foot towards the mat, please do so. If it's a little much on that flexion in the psoas. As you inhale, think of pressing your leg as if you're bringing it down, those arms resisting. And as you exhale, see if you can't draw that knee towards your chest. Soften the shoulders down. Feeling that stretch in the back of the hamstring, maybe even up into the calf. And now bringing that left knee, letting it drape to the outside of your rib cage towards your armpit, taking a hold of either the calf, the ankle, maybe the knife edge of the left foot. Bringing that right arm out like a wing, a little half happy baby here, really feeling that compression in the hip bone, in the hip socket. Exhale, allow those shoulder blades to melt down. On your next exhale, allow that knee to start to drift across to the right, keeping that left arm out like a wing, left shoulder blade melting into the mat, giving your spine a nice twist, maybe taking your gaze over your left fingertips. On your exhale, allow those shoulders to release deeper into the mat. Allow the head to feel heavy, jaw to unclench. On your next exhale, drawing back to center, lengthening that left leg down the length of the mat, or bringing the sole of the left foot to the mat. Bringing that right knee, giving it a nice little squeeze into the chest, maybe rotating the ankle here. And then straightening into the leg. It does not need to be fully straight. On your next inhale, think of pressing that leg as if you were going to drop back down to the mat and your hands are resisting. And as you exhale, see if you can't allow that space to bring that knee just a little bit closer to your chest. Allow those shoulder blades to soften back down into the mat. And then taking your knee, letting it drape towards the outside of your rib cage, coming towards your armpit, taking a hold of either your ankle, your calf, or maybe the knife edge of your right foot. As you exhale, drawing that knee closer to the mat, allow those shoulder blades to soften, feeling that really nice compression in the hip socket. As you exhale, bringing that right arm down like a wing, allowing that left hand to gently guide the right knee over to the left while keeping that right shoulder blade softening down to the ground, taking your gaze over towards your right fingertips. As you exhale, release the jaw, release tension from your eyes. Let the tops of your shoulders soften. The back of your head feel heavy. As you exhale, coming back towards center, bringing both feet and hands up, allowing just a little bit of fluid, drainage, lymphatic fluid. Just taking a moment. And then bringing those legs all the way down the length of the mat, letting them fall open, bringing those arms out to the side, palms opening towards the ceiling. Just taking a moment here in Savasana. Savasana is one of the most important poses, even if it's not a traditional yoga class, but allowing the body to come back to stillness, to softness, to center. Spending as much time in this space as you need. And when you're ready to come out, do so nice and slowly, maybe bringing those soles of the feet towards the mat, letting those knees drape in together, and then rocking the head from side to side. Bringing the knees in, and then rolling over to your right side, gently pressing yourself up. Nice and slowly. So thank you. I hope you got in a good workout, that you enjoyed kind of mixing it up a little bit. I think these are really fun to do, especially if you can turn on some really good music and just have fun with it. And